What's the difference between to be fired and to be played off?
To be fired and to be played off are two idiomatic expressions that have different meanings and connotations. To be fired. This expression refers to the act of losing one's job or being dismissed from employment. When someone is fired, it typically implies that the termination is due to poor performance, misconduct, or other issues related to the employee's actions or behavior. Being fired often carries a negative connotation and can be a distressing experience for the individual involved. Example: after several warnings about his behavior, John was finally fired from his job. To be played off. This expression is typically used in the context of events, performances, or shows when a person's time on stage is coming to an end, and music is used to signal that it's time for them to leave. This can happen when the person has gone over their allotted time or when the organizers want to move on to the next segment of the event. While this can sometimes be seen as a somewhat negative occurrence, it is not as severe as being fired and usually does not carry the same serious implications. Example: the speaker went on for too long, so the event organizers played him off with some background music. In summary, to be fired refers to losing one's job or being dismissed from employment, usually due to negative reasons. In contrast, to be played off relates to being signaled to leave a stage or performance through the use of music, typically due to exceeding the time limit or the event moving on to the next segment.
Gives 3 examples for each case.
To be fired. Examples: Jane was consistently late to work, and despite multiple warnings from her manager, she didn't improve her punctuality. As a result, she was fired from her job. After it was discovered that Mark had been stealing company resources for personal use, he was fired immediately and faced legal consequences for his actions. Sarah's inability to meet her sales targets for several consecutive months led to her being fired from her position as a sales representative. To be played off. Examples: during the talent show, a performer continued to sing well beyond their allotted time. The event organizers decided to play the contestant off with a soft, upbeat tune to signal that it was time to leave the stage. At the awards ceremony, an award recipient gave an excessively long acceptance speech. As a result, the show's producers played them off with the event's theme music to keep the program on schedule. During a conference, a keynote speaker went off topic and started discussing unrelated issues. The organizers decided to play the speaker off with a subtle, background melody to regain control of the event and move on to the next presenter.